Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Cahokia, a city that once stood as the largest urban center in North America, remains one of history's greatest mysteries. Before Columbus set foot in the New World, before the English even dreamed of Jamestown, Cahokia flourished, rivaling the great capitals of medieval Europe. At its height around 1250 AD, it was larger than London, home to tens of thousands of people, with massive earthen pyramids and a complex society that left behind tantalizing clues. And yet, despite its significance, it was almost entirely forgotten. Who built Cahokia? What was life like in this vast metropolis? And perhaps most intriguingly, why did it vanish? Recent archaeological discoveries are rewriting what we know about this lost city, revealing a civilization far more advanced than previously believed. From intricate trade networks to sophisticated astronomy, the people of Cahokia left behind a legacy that challenges everything we thought we knew about pre-Columbian America. But the deeper archaeologists dig, the more questions arise. Was Cahokia abandoned due to environmental collapse, warfare, or something else entirely? This is the story of America's first great city, a forgotten empire hidden beneath the fields of Illinois. Cahokia rose in the fertile Mississippi River Valley near present-day St. Louis, where rich soil and abundant waterways provided the perfect setting for an advanced civilization. Built by the Mississippian culture between 600 and 1400 AD, Cahokia grew into the largest city in pre-Columbian North America, covering nearly 6 square miles and housing up to 20,000 people at its peak. Cahokia, the largest pre-Columbian city, north of Mexico, flourished between 1050 and 1350 CE in what is now Illinois. At its peak, it housed an estimated 20,000 residents, making it the largest and most sophisticated urban center of its time in North America. Unlike many indigenous settlements that consisted of small, scattered villages, Cahokia was a highly organized metropolis with a well-planned layout, massive earthen mounds, a central plaza, and advanced astronomical features. Urban planning and engineering in Cahokia's urban design reflects a deep understanding of social organization, religious symbolism, and environmental adaptation. The city's central feature was a massive grand plaza, an open space that served as the focal point for ceremonies, markets, and social gatherings. This plaza was deliberately leveled and constructed using thousands of tons of earth, showcasing the engineering skills of Cahokia's builders. Surrounding the Grand Plaza were more than 100 earthen mounds, varying in size and function. Some mounds were used as platforms for elite residences and temples, others for burials, and some likely had political or ceremonial purposes. The construction of these mounds required immense labor, with workers moving vast amounts of soil by hand, using woven baskets. Monk's Mound, the largest prehistoric earthwork in the Americas, Monk's Mound. The largest and most significant mound in Cahokia rises about 100 feet, 30 meters, and covers roughly 14 acres, 5.7 hectares, making it larger at its base than the Great Pyramid of Giza. This massive structure was built in multiple stages over centuries, with its final form consisting of 4 terraces. At its summit stood a large wooden structure, likely the dwelling or ceremonial space of Cahokia's ruling elite, possibly a paramount chief or religious leader. Monk's Mound not only served as a symbol of power, but also reflected Cahokian expertise. In soil engineering, builders carefully selected and layered different types of soil and clay to ensure stability and drainage, preventing the mound from eroding under its immense weight. Woodhenge, Cahokia's solar calendar. One of the most remarkable aspects of Cahokia's design is its astronomical alignment, most notably seen in a structure known as Woodhenge. This was a series of large wooden posts arranged in multiple concentric circles, functioning as a solar calendar. The positioning of these posts allowed Cahokians to track the movements of the sun throughout the year, marking solstices, equinoxes, and possibly other celestial events. At the center of Woodhenge, an observer standing at a specific point during sunrise would see the sun align with certain posts on key dates, such as the summer and winter solstices. This suggests that Cahokians had a sophisticated understanding of astronomy, using it for agricultural planning, ceremonial events, and possibly religious observances. Social and political organization, Cahokia's highly structured urban plan, and monumental architecture indicate a complex and hierarchical society. The presence of elite residences atop platform mounds, along with palisaded enclosures around certain areas, suggests a stratified society with powerful leaders overseeing religious, political, and economic affairs. The city was also a major trade hub, connecting vast networks that stretched from the Great Lakes to the Gulf of Mexico. Artifacts such as marine shells, copper, mica, and even obsidian from distant regions have been found in Cahokia, demonstrating its role as a central marketplace and cultural exchange center. Conclusion: Cahokia was more than just a large settlement. It was a carefully designed urban center with impressive engineering, astronomical precision, and a complex social structure. The Grand Plaza, Monk's Mound, and Woodhenge highlight the advanced planning and knowledge of its builders, making it one of the most fascinating and significant prehistoric cities in North America. Cahokia thrived on a strong agricultural economy, with corn as its staple crop. This agricultural surplus supported a complex society where skilled artisans, warriors, and religious leaders played distinct roles. Trade networks connected Cahokia to distant lands, bringing in copper from the Great Lakes, seashells from the Gulf of Mexico, and even obsidian from the Rocky Mountains. This web of commerce fueled the city's expansion and influence, making Cahokia the heart of a vast cultural and economic network. Socially, Cahokia was highly stratified. Elites lived atop the largest mounds, overlooking the city below, while commoners resided in smaller dwellings. Artifacts suggest that Cahokia's rulers wielded religious and political power, organizing large-scale labor projects and ceremonies. The city's artwork, including intricately carved shells and figurines, hints at a deeply spiritual society where rituals played a central role in daily life. Cahokia's rise was nothing short of extraordinary, but as its influence grew, so did the challenges that would eventually lead to its decline. At its peak around 1250 AD, Cahokia experienced an unprecedented population boom, making it the largest city in North America until the rise of Philadelphia in the 1800s. With over 20,000 inhabitants, it was larger than many contemporary European cities, a bustling metropolis filled with homes, ceremonial structures, and an intricate society built on agriculture, trade, and spirituality. Cahokia's Monk's Mound stands as the most impressive and enduring testament to the city's advanced engineering and social organization. This massive earthen structure, rising over 100 feet, 30 meters, and covering approximately 14 acres, 5.7 hectares, surpasses the base area of the Great Pyramid of Giza. The construction of Monk's Mound was a monumental achievement, requiring the movement of an estimated 22 million cubic feet, about 623,000 cubic meters, of soil. Workers transported this soil by hand in baskets, carefully layering different types of earth to ensure stability and prevent erosion. Engineering mastery. Monk's Mound was built in multiple stages over several centuries, with each phase demonstrating an increasing level of architectural sophistication. The builders understood soil composition and drainage, layering clay and sand to prevent water accumulation, which could destabilize the structure. Some sections show evidence of reconstruction, suggesting that the mound was periodically expanded and repaired, possibly in response to subsidence or changing ceremonial needs. Religious and political center. At its summit, archaeologists believe a grand wooden temple, palace, or council house once stood, serving as the residence or ceremonial space for Cahokia's ruling elite. This structure was likely a focal point for religious rituals, political decision-making, and public ceremonies that reinforced the authority of Cahokia's leaders. The height and scale of Monk's Mound would have made it a dominant visual and symbolic feature visible for miles, and emphasizing the power and spiritual significance of those who occupied it. Connection to the cosmos. The orientation of Monk's Mound and its alignment with other structures in Cahokia suggests that it played a role in astronomical observations. Its placement in relation to the Grand Plaza and Woodhenge indicates that celestial events such as solstices and equinoxes may have been marked from its summit, further integrating astronomy into Cahokian spiritual and political life. Legacy of Monk's Mound. Despite centuries of erosion and environmental change, Monk's Mound remains the largest prehistoric earthwork in the Americas. Its survival speaks to the ingenuity of its builders and the significance of Cahokia as a cultural and political hub. Today, it stands as a powerful reminder of the engineering brilliance and societal complexity of the Mississippian civilization. Another remarkable feature was Woodhenge, a sophisticated solar calendar composed of large wooden posts arranged in a circular formation. This structure aligned perfectly with the rising and setting sun on solstices and equinoxes, proving that Cahokians possessed advanced astronomical knowledge. Much like England's Stonehenge, it likely played a role in ceremonial gatherings, marking key agricultural and religious dates. Cahokia's influence extended far beyond its borders. Artifacts from the city have been discovered as far as the Great Lakes, the Gulf of Mexico, and the Rocky Mountains, indicating a vast trade network. Cahokian goods, intricately carved shell ornaments, copper tools, and finely crafted ceramics, have been found in distant regions, showing that it was a cultural and economic powerhouse. This extensive trade system not only brought valuable resources into Cahokia, but also spread its artistic and religious influence to other Mississippian societies. For a time, Cahokia stood as a beacon of civilization in pre-Columbian America, a thriving city that commanded respect and admiration across the continent. But despite its golden age, signs of trouble would soon emerge, leading to its mysterious decline. Despite its remarkable achievements, Cahokia did not last. By the 14th century, the city was in decline, and within a few generations, it was abandoned. The reasons for its collapse remain one of the greatest mysteries in North American history, but scholars have uncovered several possible explanations, ranging from environmental degradation to social turmoil and natural disasters. Environmental strain and the decline of Cahokia. Cahokia's rapid rise as the largest pre-Columbian city in North America brought immense prosperity, but also created significant environmental pressures. As the population swelled to an estimated 10,000 to 20,000 people at its peak, the city's need for food, construction materials, and fuel increased dramatically. This strain on natural resources may have played a crucial role in the city's eventual decline. Deforestation and its consequences. One of the most immediate environmental challenges Cahokia faced was deforestation. The city required vast amounts of timber for multiple purposes. Building materials. Wood was essential for constructing homes, temples, defensive palisades, and large structures such as the Grand Temple atop Monk's Mound. Fuel, firewood, was necessary for cooking, heating, and possibly for large-scale communal feasting and religious ceremonies. Earthwork construction. Some evidence suggests that wooden retaining structures may have been used in the construction of Cahokia's mounds. As forests around Cahokia were cleared, several ecological problems emerged. Soil erosion, without trees to anchor the soil. Heavy rains could wash away fertile topsoil, reducing agricultural productivity. The resulting sediment buildup may have clogged nearby waterways, disrupting irrigation and fishing. Microclimate alteration. Deforestation can change local weather patterns by increasing temperature fluctuations and reducing moisture retention in the soil, making drought conditions more severe. Resource scarcity. As wood became scarcer, the people of Cahokia would have had to travel farther to gather fuel and building materials, increasing the burden on the labor force. Overhunting and food shortages with thousands of mouths to feed, Cahokia's residents placed heavy demands on local wildlife. Game animals such as deer, turkey, and small mammals provided a crucial protein source. However, overhunting likely led to population declines in these species, forcing Cahokians to turn to less reliable food sources. Decline of key species. Archaeological evidence suggests that large game animals became increasingly scarce, possibly due to excessive hunting and habitat destruction. Increased reliance on agriculture. As hunting became less viable, Cahokia relied more on maize, corn, and other cultivated crops. However, this shift made the society more vulnerable to environmental fluctuations. Climate change and droughts. Cahokia's decline coincided with a period of climate instability. Evidence from tree rings and sediment cores suggests that around 1150–1250 CE, the region experienced prolonged droughts. Such climate events could have had devastating effects. Crop failures. Maize, the staple crop of Cahokia, requires consistent rainfall. Extended droughts would have led to poor harvests, food shortages, and potential famine. Water scarcity. Cahokia depended on local rivers and wetlands for drinking water and irrigation. Droughts may have caused these water sources to dry up or become unreliable. Social unrest. A food crisis would have weakened the authority of Cahokia's leaders, who were expected to maintain prosperity and order. As resources became scarcer, competition may have led to conflicts or internal strife. The breakdown of Cahokian society. As food became scarce and environmental degradation worsened, Cahokia's social and political structures may have begun to unravel. Signs of social stress appear in the archaeological record. Fortifications and defensive structures. Cahokia's construction of a large wooden palisade around the central city suggests increasing concerns over security, possibly due to internal revolts or external threats. Evidence of conflict. Mass graves containing signs of violent deaths hint at possible warfare or ritual sacrifices in response to growing instability. Gradual population decline. Over time, people began leaving Cahokia, possibly seeking better conditions elsewhere. Without a strong labor force, the city's ability to sustain itself further deteriorated. Conclusion. The decline of Cahokia was likely not due to a single factor, but rather a combination of environmental strain, climate change, and social unrest. Deforestation, soil erosion, overhunting, and prolonged droughts would have made it increasingly difficult to support a large population. As food and resources dwindled, Cahokia's leaders may have lost their ability to maintain order, leading to the gradual abandonment of what was once the greatest city of pre-Columbian North America. Archaeological. Evidence suggests that Cahokia was not always a peaceful society. Large wooden palisades with watchtowers were built around the central city, indicating a need for defense. Mass burial sites reveal signs of violent deaths, possibly linked to warfare or internal conflict. Some remains suggest ritualistic human sacrifices, which may have been part of religious ceremonies intended to appease the gods during times of crisis. If Cahokia's ruling elite lost control or failed to manage resources effectively, social unrest could have erupted, leading to the city's eventual abandonment. The Mississippi River, a lifeline for Cahokia's people, may have also played a role in its downfall. Evidence suggests that massive floods swept through the region during the city's decline. If the river overflowed and destroyed farmlands, it could have severely disrupted food supplies, forcing people to leave in search of more stable environments. 1. Persistent myth is that Cahokia fell due to European contact, but this is not the case. The city was largely abandoned by 1400, nearly a century before Europeans arrived in the interior of North America. This means its decline was driven by internal and environmental factors rather than foreign diseases or colonization. In the end, Cahokia's collapse remains a cautionary tale of how even the most advanced societies can falter under the weight of ecological strain, political conflict, and natural disasters. While the city disappeared, its legacy endures in the traditions of modern indigenous peoples and in the archaeological remains that continue to captivate historians today. Cahokia was once the greatest city in North America, yet for centuries, it was almost completely forgotten. Unlike civilizations such as the Maya or the Aztecs, the Mississippians left no written records, relying instead on oral traditions that were lost over time. Without a written history to preserve its story, Cahokia faded into obscurity, known only in scattered legends among indigenous tribes. The erasure of Cahokia's legacy, despite its significance as the largest pre-Columbian city in North America, Cahokia's legacy was nearly erased by the westward expansion of the United States. As European American settlers moved into the Mississippi Valley in the 18th and 19th centuries, they transformed the landscape, often unaware, or sometimes indifferent, to the ancient civilization that had once thrived there. Destruction through agriculture. One of the greatest threats to Cahokia's mounds came from farming. The rich soil of the Mississippi floodplain, which had once sustained Cahokia's own agricultural society, attracted settlers eager to cultivate the land. However, these early farmers often saw the mounds as little more than obstacles to be flattened for planting crops. Over time, smaller mounds were plowed over entirely, their structures erased. Erosion from repeated tilling damaged those that remained. Artifacts and human remains were disturbed, with many relics lost or improperly documented. By the late Cahokia and 19th century, Most of Cahokia's original earthworks had either been destroyed or severely altered by agriculture. The fight for preservation. Fortunately, in the early 20th century, archaeologists and historians began advocating for Cahokia's protection. In 1925, the area was designated a state historic site, and preservation efforts increased in the following decades. Today, Cahokia Mound's State Historic Site is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, recognizing its immense historical and cultural significance. While much of Cahokia's original landscape has been lost, ongoing archaeological work continues to uncover its secrets, ensuring that its story is not forgotten. For much of American history, Cahokia was dismissed by early historians and archaeologists. Many 19th century scholars refused to believe that indigenous people could have built such an advanced city, instead crediting its ruins to lost civilizations or even ancient European visitors. This Eurocentric bias led to decades of neglect, with Cahokia's achievements overlooked in favor of more familiar narratives about American history. Only in the last few decades has Cahokia received the attention it deserves. Archaeological excavations have uncovered its vast size, sophisticated society, and deep connections to cultures across North America. Today, Cahokia is recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, drawing researchers and visitors eager to learn about this forgotten American metropolis. Though much of its past remains a mystery, ongoing discoveries continue to reshape our understanding of pre-Columbian America, proving that Cahokia was far more than just a lost city. It was the heart of a thriving civilization that time nearly erased. Rediscovering Cahokia. How modern archaeology unveils its lost history. For centuries, Cahokia was a forgotten civilization, its vast network of mounds reduced by agriculture and urban development. However, in recent decades, archaeologists have begun to uncover the city's true scale and complexity. By combining traditional excavation methods with cutting-edge technology, researchers have mapped Cahokia's vast urban layout, unearthed thousands of artifacts, and gained deeper insight into its engineering, economy, and eventual decline. Mapping. Cahokia's urban layout excavations have revealed that Cahokia was not a simple collection of villages, but a meticulously planned city that once dominated the central Mississippi Valley. Some key features include Monk's Mound, the largest prehistoric earthwork in the Americas, standing over 100 feet tall and covering 14 acres. It likely housed a temple or elite residence. The Grand Plaza, a massive open space at the heart of the city, carefully leveled and engineered to serve as a gathering place for ceremonies, markets, and social events. Over 100 mounds, including platform mounds used for buildings, conical mounds for burials, and ridgetop mounds, possibly for astronomical or religious purposes. Residential and agricultural areas. Cahokia had distinct zones for living, working, and farming, with thatched roof houses arranged around courtyards and communal spaces. Woodhenge, a circular arrangement of wooden posts that functioned as a solar calendar, marking solstices and equinoxes with astonishing precision. These discoveries have reinforced the idea that Cahokia was an advanced society with deep knowledge of urban planning, astronomy, and environmental management. Uncovering daily life. Artifacts and trade networks. Thousands of artifacts have been excavated, providing a glimpse into the everyday lives, beliefs, and economic reach of Cahokia's people. Pottery. Cahokians created distinctive ceramics, often decorated with intricate designs reflecting their spiritual and artistic traditions. Stone tools and weapons. Flint knives, axes, and arrowheads show evidence of skilled craftsmanship and long-distance trade. Jewelry and ornaments, artifacts made from shell, copper, mica, and even rare stones like obsidian, sourced from the Rocky Mountains, suggest extensive trade networks. Burial sites. Some graves contain rich offerings, such as finely worked copper plates and marine shell gorgets, indicating social hierarchy and religious significance. Food remains. Analysis of plant remains and animal bones reveals a diet based on maize, beans, squash, fish, and hunted game, demonstrating a well-developed agricultural system. These findings prove that Cahokia was deeply connected to trade, routes stretching from the Great Lakes to the Gulf of Mexico, making it a major economic and cultural hub. Technological advances. Seeing Cahokia without digging. Modern technology has revolutionized Cahokia's study by allowing archaeologists to explore underground structures without disturbing fragile remains. Ground-penetrating radar, GPR sends. Radar pulses into the ground and detects buried structures, revealing house foundations, roads, and even palisade walls without excavation. This has helped researchers map entire neighborhoods and understand how Cahokia's population was distributed. LiDAR, light detection and ranging. LiDAR uses laser scanning from aircraft to create high-resolution maps of the landscape, even through dense vegetation. It has helped uncover hidden mounds and earthworks that had been eroded or leveled by farming. Some previously unknown mounds have been detected outside the main site, suggesting that Cahokia's influence extended farther than once believed. Stable isotope analysis and DNA studies. By studying chemical signatures in human bones and teeth, scientists can determine where people grew up and what they ate. Recent studies show that Cahokia had a diverse and mobile population, with some residents originating from distant regions. These technological advancements continue to provide new insights into Cahokia's past, helping researchers reconstruct its rise, daily life, and eventual decline with greater accuracy than ever before. Engineering and economy. The infrastructure of a thriving metropolis, Cahokia's layout and infrastructure reveal an advanced society capable of large-scale public works and economic organization. Earthwork, construction. The mounds were carefully engineered using millions of baskets of soil, arranged in layers to prevent collapse. Builders used different soil types to enhance stability and ensure drainage, demonstrating sophisticated environmental knowledge. Water management. Cahokia's residents modified natural waterways and may have constructed ditches or reservoirs to manage water flow. Some evidence suggests they used raised agricultural fields to maximize crop production. Economic specialization. Not everyone in Cahokia was a farmer. There were artisans, traders, religious leaders, and political elites. The presence of mass-produced ceramics and stone tools suggests craft specialization and possibly a marketplace economy. These features indicate that Cahokia functioned as a true city, with complex infrastructure, governance, and economic organization. New. Theories on Cahokia's decline with modern research tools. Archaeologists are uncovering more evidence about why Cahokia fell into decline around 1350 CE. Environmental strain, overpopulation, deforestation, and soil erosion may have reduced agricultural productivity, leading to food shortages. Climate change. A period of prolonged droughts in the 12th and 13th centuries could have weakened Cahokia's food supply. Social unrest. Evidence of increasing fortifications suggests internal conflict or external threats. Flooding. Some researchers believe a major flood from the Mississippi River may have devastated parts of Cahokia. Outmigration. As conditions worsened, many residents may have left, dispersing into smaller settlements. Thanks to modern archaeology, researchers continue to refine these theories and uncover new evidence, bringing us closer to understanding Cahokia's fate. Conclusion. Cahokia rediscovered. Once dismissed as a forgotten mound site, Cahokia has been revealed as a sophisticated city that shaped the history of North America. Through advanced excavation techniques, artifact analysis, and non-invasive technologies like LiDAR and GPR, researchers have uncovered a thriving metropolis with complex urban planning, widespread trade, and remarkable engineering feats. Yet, despite these discoveries, Cahokia remains shrouded in mystery. As new technologies emerge, archaeologists will continue to uncover its secrets, ensuring that the story of this ancient American city is no longer lost to time. Recognizing its significance, historians and indigenous communities pushed for Cahokia's protection, leading to its designation as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1982. Today, the Cahokia Mound State Historic Site in Illinois preserves what remains of this ancient city, allowing visitors to walk among its earthen pyramids and learn about its forgotten past. However, ongoing threats from urban expansion and climate change highlight the need for continued preservation efforts to ensure Cahokia's legacy is not lost again. Beyond its historical value, Cahokia offers important lessons for the modern world. Its rise and fall serve as a case study in urban planning, sustainability, and the challenges of managing a rapidly growing population. Cahokia thrived by maximizing agricultural production and trade, but may have collapsed due to environmental overuse and political instability, issues that still resonate today. Understanding how Cahokia's leaders built and lost their city can provide insights into how modern societies can balance growth with ecological responsibility. Cahokia's rediscovery has transformed our understanding of North American history, proving that advanced civilizations flourished on this continent long before European contact. As new research continues to uncover its secrets, Cahokia stands as a reminder that history is always deeper and more complex than we once believed. Cahokia was America's first great metropolis, an advanced civilization that thrived long before European settlers arrived. With towering mounds, an intricate social structure, vast trade networks, and advanced astronomical knowledge, it was a city that rivaled the great capitals of its time. Yet despite its significance, Cahokia was almost completely forgotten, buried beneath centuries of expansion and historical neglect. Today, archaeology is finally bringing its story back to life, revealing a complex and fascinating chapter of North American history. If you want to experience Cahokia for yourself, consider visiting the Cahokia Mound State Historic Site in Illinois. Walking among the ancient earthworks offers a glimpse into the world of the Mississippian people and their incredible achievements. If you enjoyed this journey into forgotten history, don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the past. And now we want to hear from you. Why do you think Cahokia vanished? Was it environmental collapse, political turmoil, or something we haven't yet discovered? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.